Dun, 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 dun.
God.
Oh, today is going to be a lot of fun. We're having a fantasy bourbon draft.
Yeah, but with no more music.
Bum, 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 bum. Welcome back to another edition of Bourbon Kingdom. I'm David.
And I'm Zach.
And today we are going to do something a little different.
Yeah, so we thought of doing the idea, and we're a little late, but better late than never, right? Is doing a fantasy bourbon draft, just like how you would in fantasy football.
Yep.
And we tried to map everything out, I think somewhat accordingly. We tried to have a little fun with it here and there.
Yeah.
Basically, if you've never played fantasy football before, quick rundown. You pick a quarterback, you pick a couple running backs, a couple wide receivers, tight end. You get a flex where you can have like a running back, wide receiver, sometimes tight end. You get a defense, and you get a kicker. Then you have a bench, but we're not worried about the bench.
No, we're definitely not worried about the bench.
So,
it would have been forever.
It would have been forever.
Yeah.
So in this one, though, we decided to mix it up. So we're going to kind of talk about where we labeled stuff, and then we'll go through our draft. The quarterback will be considered a unicorn bottle. And our definition of unicorn will be different than your definition of unicorn. So same thing kind of with all of these. Some people might find these to be allocated. Some people might not.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, this is what we consider a unicorn.
Yeah.
The RB1 spot, first running back, would be an allocated big boy distillery.
Yep.
Running back number 2 will be a non-allocated big boy distillery. So we have to pick a bourbon from basically one of the top 6, 7 big distilleries that are out there. Wide receiver is an allocated craft, which was a little bit trickier than what we thought.
It was a little more tricky.
A little sneaky,
for sure.
we could figure it out.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the wide receiver number 2 will be a non-allocated craft bottle. Tight end will be the rye, and it could be allocated or not. We didn't actually say if it had to be.
We just said it, a rye.
Of course, we picked allocated.
Yeah, we did.
Flex any one of the running back, wide receiver, or tight end spots. So basically, out of the previous spots we talked about before, pick one of those. The defense we had a little fun with. We picked a distillery. And then for the kicker, had to be a finished whiskey.
Yes.
So let us know in the comments below, A, if you had to pick a perfect lineup, what would it be?
Yep.
And then 2, if you guys really like this idea, just put it down in the comments below, and maybe we'll look at doing this, down the road in the future in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah. So, and hit those likes, turn on notifications, subscribe, do all that good stuff.
Yep. Also, whenever we started, we picked every other spot.
We flipped a coin.
We flipped a coin. I won. I was shocked.
He did.
I was so waiting for that to hit the floor and just make all this loud noise.
I would have won that time.
Yep. And we won't talk about the order that we picked stuff because that'll just take forever.
Yeah, yeah.
But we're just going to work our way from the top, even though this was my number 1 overall pick.
It was your number 1 overall pick.
So, in the quarterback position for the unicorn tier, I picked, shocker, King Kentucky.
Who would have guessed that?
Now, why did I pick King Kentucky? Is it because it's the absolute most perfect bourbon, arguably, ever? Well, yeah, pretty much. And by the way, when we talk about the bottles we picked, we basically kind of went with like the broad side of it. There's a couple of spots where we're a little bit more like, this year this or that year that, whatever. Yeah. You'll understand, but just like overall, we tried to, not pick like the same thing. So that way I didn't pick like the 2022 version of King Kentucky, and he didn't pick 2019.
Yeah. So once like King of Kentucky was chosen, it was off the table.
It was off the table.
Yeah. So that's kind of how this all worked. So not my number 1 pick, but my QB in the unicorn the unicorn level was and always will be Heaven Hill Heritage Series 17 year.
Not a bad pick.
Perfect bourbon from last year.
Not a bad pick.
No, it was a great pick.
Yeah, not a bad pick.
How many of you like it? Because I know there's a bunch of you that do.
There is.
Yeah.
My number 1 allocated big distillery from this year is Michter's 10-year bourbon. Arguably best bourbon so far released this year.
Arguably, yeah.
Arguably will be, if not the best, top 3, top 5
Yep.
this year. I think that was a home run pick.
Yeah, it was a great pick. My RB1 would be Four Roses LE. Pick a year this year. I mean, you could pick this year if you really wanted to, because again, it was a hitter this year too.
Solid pick. Not as good as mine, but solid.
We'll see. I mean, we'll see. We'll
Now,
let you all decide at some point.
Now, my number 2 non-allocated one for my running back 2 spot was Wild Turkey Rare Breed. Now, I obviously debated between this and 1920, and I just thought to myself, I don't want to load up on everything Old Forester, because we didn't mention this at the beginning, but at the end we're going to ask you all to vote in the comments section below.
Yeah.
And if we're going to kind of tally up and see who wins overall.
Yeah.
Just, which one you all like. So I tried to diversify mine as much as I could.
I think we both did. Honestly, I think we both did.
No, I agree. Yeah. I agree. But I could have just started going through the Old Foresters because it would have been. I could have just went through Ron Foreman. I would have been happy.
That's probably true. So what'd you say?
Rare Breed for my running back 2.
Rare Breed for his running back 2. Which, everybody's heard that Jim Brown was a good running back, but you very rarely see footage of it. That's kind of, Rare Breed is kind of that Jim Brown version of the running back. For me, I got the new big boy on the block, non-allocated, would be the Bardstown Discovery Series. It's
actually really smart that you got this route.
Yeah. It is everywhere. It is an awesome.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
I'm actually, whenever he said this to me, my gears in my head were turning. I was like, dang, that's a really good pick.
Yeah.
I didn't think that through. But they are like the distillery's version, basically, of their LE, and it literally is everywhere.
It's
so
everywhere.
It was a really solid pick. You did good there. So the next one, for the wide receiver 1, it's our allocated craft pick.
Yeah.
I feel like I kind of got you on this one, though.
You probably did. Although the one I chose was a hitter too.
No, you did pick a really good one too. But whenever I said it to you, I felt like I got you.
I was kind of angry at you.
I went with the Smoke Wagon Rare and Limited, and if I'm going to be like even more specific, I'd go with Winter Oak from this year.
Yeah.
So you can pick pretty much any of them. You can pick the Elevator Badge,
but the Winter Oak
Yum Yum
hit on a different level.
Yeah.
My wide receiver 1 allocated craft would be Merrick Pingree, which I got really specific with this because it is an unbelievable bottle, it's called Caroline. It is a 15-year MGP blue label.
Yeah.
We
had it 2 years ago up there at the distillery.
Yeah.
Gosh, I think it was a monster.
Yeah, it was a monster. It was awesome.
It was really good.
Yeah.
My next one is non-allocated craft distillery, and I went with Chattanooga Bottle and Bond. Actually, I had a really hard time picking this.
Yeah.
Because a part of me wanted to go with Smoke Wagon Uncut Unfiltered.
Yeah. I almost did as well.
So I didn't go with that just because I already had a Smoke Wagon.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go with something a little different, and I was looking around, and I was like, man, I kind of like this. That is kind of craft, but it's kind of not. Like, that craft line is very...
Yeah,
is very fine line.
If you live near Chattanooga Distillery, it's probably not.
Probably not.
But for everybody else, you would think it would be craft. My wide receiver 2 is... and you all know my love for this, so you will get the point here, is Redwood Empire, and specifically Lost Monarch. It is, of the non-allocated craft, it is so good. It's awesome.
I just realized something. I'm going to say this at the end of the video, but I just had a moment where I just realized something. All right, so for the tight end position, that was our rye. So we didn't say if it had to be allocated or not. We basically should have said allocated because worse we picked allocated.
Yeah, of
I
course.
picked the new Parker's Rye from this year. That thing is a monster. It's a 10-year-old. Actually, I have it right here. 10-year-old, 128 proof. We have not done the review for it yet, but Dave, I promise you're going to love this bottle.
All right.
Unless he tries to fight me on it and be like, see, you didn't really see it sucks.
Yeah, it was terrible. That was worse. My rye pick is the Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Rye LE, specifically the 2020 release. That was awesome.
Yeah, no,
it was on another world.
Yeah, like one of the best ryes ever made.
Yeah, one of the best ryes ever made. I think was that my first pick? I feel like that was my first pick.
I think that was your first pick.
Yeah.
I think that might have been your first overall pick, which was, to give you credit.
Because ryes are the hardest for me to choose. Like, what are... So, the ones that I like, I wanted to make sure I got one in there.
That's fair. The flex I had, which could be any of the running backs, any of the wide receivers, or the tight end position. So, any previous spot. I went with a allocated bourbon, and I went with the new Maker's Mark Cellar Age. I think, again, that is going to be...
It's a hitter, man.
Yeah, it's going to be a monster this year at the end of the year. And I just think man, it's just going to stack up some of the best bottles that you're released this year.
My flex is, to me, hands down, the best thing that Old Forester puts out, and it's President's Choice. You can take your pick of them. President's Choice, it's the best thing that they put out.
I like that you put a President's Choice down for your flex and not unicorn, but
yeah, well, it's not a unicorn. It's allocated.
Time out. I want people to put in the comments below. All right, because here, let me tell you about a conversation we had. We had a conversation about William Heaven Hill, about me putting that in the flex spot. Yeah. I was like, I thought about it. I didn't want to because I felt like that's a unicorn, not because necessarily of the price, but because of the availability.
Well, listen, I'm looking past a TV and camera, and I'm looking at
different. I live 7 minutes away from the
one person's number of unicorn President's Choice, and I'll just leave it at it's more than this many.
Yeah. I have that many open of that, though.
True, you do. I'll give it to you.
But anyways.
Oh, yeah, and that's not even talking about the ones that sit back behind our head.
My point being is that he doesn't think that's a unicorn. So put in the comments below if you think it is or isn't. I have my opinions, but you know what? I'm a good sport. I'll let him put it there.
It is.
I ain't scared.
Hey, there's no debating that it is the best thing that Old Forester puts out. Besides a bottle that we can't talk about, it's the best thing that is put out to the mass public.
True that. Talking about the next pick. So that was our defense. So we picked a distillery out of this one, and I just went with Old Forester. It's just that's what I'm going to go with. That's where I'm going to stand my ground at, regardless if they love me or hate me there. Yep. And that's who I'm going to back. And that's who I picked.
I almost chose him before he chose him just to be a jerk. Yeah. But I decided not to. I thought this was going to be... I thought we would just do a clean version of a good draft that was amicable, and you know,
got 2 unicorns, but it's cool.
Yeah. So my defense is, it's Heaven Hill. Like, the last 2 years have been like unbelievable, and so this is the Baltimore Ravens of like the early 2000s that were just dominant defensive teams.
Fair.
Ray Lewis back there. Ooh!
Oh my God.
Ray, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, dude.
Dear God, I hope he's not. All right, so last position. I can't even check that now. Last spot is the kicker position, and we went with a finished whiskey. This is the one where I saw the bottle, and I immediately got excited because I'm like, he ain't going to pick this. But then I saw him get up and walking around looking at all my bottles, and I was like, maybe he is going to pick it. But I went with it. 4-Gate Kelvin Collection.
Some would say that that's like a unicorn, too. I'm just saying.
Kelvin 4 is great. It's not a unicorn.
Yeah. It was really good. It was a good choice. That was a really good choice. My choice for my kicker is the Magnus Cigar Blend.
Yeah, it's a pretty good layup.
It was an easy one to choose. So it's fun.
All right, really quick, read off your list again so that way everybody knows it since we've been talking about it. Just really quick.
All right, QB, Heaven Hill, 17-year. Running back 1, Four Roses LE. Running back 2, Bardstown Discovery. Wide receiver 1, Mayor Pingree, Caroline, 15-year. Blue Label. Wide receiver 2, Redwood Empire, Lost Monarch. Tight end would be JD Single Barrel, Rye, Limited Edition. The flex is President's Choice. Defense, Heaven Hill. And kicker, Magnus Cigar Blend.
All right, so my quarterback would be King Kentucky. My running back 1 would be Michter's 10-year Bourbon, focusing on 23. Running back 2 would be a Wild Turkey Rare Breed. Wide receiver 1 would be the Smoke Wagon Rare and Limited, focusing on the Winter Oak. Wide receiver 2 is the Chattanooga Bottle and Bond. Tight end is the Parker's Rye of 2023. The flex is this year's Maker's Mark Seller's Age. My defense would be Old Forester. And my kicker is the Forgate Kelvin Collection, focusing on Kelvin Ford. With all that being said, we didn't pick one Buffalo Trace bottle.
No, we didn't.
I almost picked Stag at one point in time for my flex, and then I picked the Makers.
Yeah.
But
the Makers is a good choice.
I honestly thought whenever I picked Old Forester, I thought you were going to pick Buffalo Trace. Because if you were going to pick Old Forester, I was going to pick Buffalo Trace.
Yeah. I just have a soft spot in my heart for Heaven Hill.
No, I don't think you picked a bad choice at all.
Yeah.
I'm just shocked that we didn't pick any of it.
Yeah.
So let us know in the comments below kind of what your all's thoughts is. Again, if you like this, it's probably a longer video than normal.
Yeah.
But hopefully you all enjoyed it.
We had fun with it.
And I know we had a lot of fun just doing it.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
But anyways.
Hopefully it's not like the old-fashioned one.
Oh, gosh. That'd be terrible. All right.
All right, till next time. Yeah, we'll see you.
We'll see you.